joined by Dury Kim, Regional Director, Revenue Management with Real Hospitality Group, coming to us from New York City. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. How's New York?
New York is, right now it's cold. We had some snow this morning. I was very surprised and I woke up to some snow covering my balcony. So it was quite startling because it's been quite warm lately. And I think right now it's a little more activity in the city than previously, but definitely less than in the summer.
You're not in a lockdown, so to speak, right?
Not necessarily, but there are, our bars and restaurants do have a curfew. They all have to close by 10 p.m. So there's not too much going on here. And a lot of things here are 25% capacities, or the museums also are appointment only. So, you really have to plan to come to New York City if you want to come to New York City.
Yeah.
Just making sure everything's open and where you want to go, etc.
So what's it been like for you, the pandemic and all?
It's made me really just evaluate myself and do a lot of introverted and introspective learning of myself. I'm actually been quite productive. I got into, as we mentioned earlier, I got into podcasts a lot over the pandemic, and because I'm home officing and I'm still at home, I worked on my CRME. So I'm proud to say I'm now have that CRME next to my name since October. So very proud.
Congratulations.
Had a little time to, everyone's quite busy, especially with a lot of, limited staffing, etc. for everyone. But I was able to get my CRME. I'm very proud of myself. I've been working on trying to get that for a really long time, just did not have time for it. And then also on my bucket list also was to participate in Alumni in the Classroom for my alma mater and for Penn State. So I was able to participate in that, do a couple of guest lectures. That was a lot of fun. It was on my bucket list since I graduated. So I finally got to take that off my list as well.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So quickly tell us about Real Hospitality. What's that look like?
Well, Real is only 10 years old. So we were founded in 2010, and we've picked up probably 20 to 25 hotels each year. So we're approaching 100, if not already there. During the pandemic, actually, we opened our Shanghai office. So we had some expansion there and picked up a couple of management agreements for the Shanghai and China, Asia, really. So really exciting stuff at Real. We've continued to, participate in our bidding for management agreements, etc. But again, we are acquiring hotels and taking over hotels even throughout COVID. We picked up 2 new hotels in New York, namely a branded one and one that's more internationally known. So there's still a lot of movement going on, and we still have a bunch in the pipeline also for this year. We have a couple in Queens and Brooklyn that are also coming on board. And again, we're not just limited to New York, but I primarily oversee a lot of the New York City properties, which is why I kind of base my conversation on this. But yeah, there's a lot coming in, and we're very excited, and the company's growing. We've been able to, keep a lot of our revenue team. There's definitely a lot of efficiencies that have been made, but I think our team has been pretty solid and really growing. And I'm happy to say that we've had a promotion at the start of COVID and been able to, really groom and grow our team. And no one's really been through anything like this before, so it's all new to us. So we've been growing together as a team and as a company. So it's actually really great to be a part of it.
So how has, surely you've had to change how you do things, you and your teams. Talk to us about those adjustments.
Yeah, so a lot of the data entry and stuff it takes up a lot of time, and you may think it only takes 2 minutes in the morning or what have you, but those 2 minutes start to add up. So we've made a lot of efficiencies in terms of our reporting. We've added a lot of technology, or really just trying to maximize the usage of our technology. So in terms of our reporting systems, for financially, we've been rolling out a couple of financial systems as well as like revenue management systems, and really reevaluating our tech stack as well. And then saying, hey, is this really important to look at now? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that may have become redundant or a little, I guess, not as relevant. I mean, you're not going to be running PACE reports if it's all going to be negative all the time. So, like, there are differences in terms of reporting that we've done and in terms of what we provide as service, though. I think at least for the revenue management side, we haven't really changed too much. It's just more so what can our teams, I guess, withstand in terms of the volume, because we do have the properties, and then our revenue team is at corporate level. So we do have a little bit of a little gap there in terms of communicating. We have multiple properties for the revenue cluster teams. So it's more so just dividing and organizing. So a lot of organization going on right now, and just making sure that everybody's time is accounted for, etc.
So price, yeah.
But also not too much in terms of a service level. I don't think on properties they feel it, but we do see a lot more different reporting coming out, and try to be a little more relevant to now, because you're not going to be looking at a PACE report. It's all negative all the time. So it's like, hey, I know PACE is not something to look at, but what about forward-looking PACE in terms of a booking PACE? Is it improving, etc.? So modified slightly.
Yeah, how are you pricing your hotels? I mean, because that's a real challenge right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially when the rates are so flat across the markets. So we strongly believe in this, and we continue to believe in an open pricing model. So we make sure that we have our straight line availability. So our restrictions are not really restrictive. It's really by rate, and right now the rates are pretty low. So we're constantly doing like price elasticity testing, sensitivity testing, finding where that line of resistance is. So we do test it. I mean, up 10, lower 10. It makes a big difference. I mean, the start of all of this, $10 would make a huge difference to your occupancy levels, and so would $5. So like really just trying to find where that market resistance is. And because we have multiple hotels across multiple markets, we're able to see how each market kind of change in terms of all the restrictions that come out and et cetera. So because it's a volatile market across every market right now. So really knowing where that resistance is and understanding the consumer behavior has become very, very important. And being able to quickly react, or really just be proactive as well, saying, hey, I know that we're not seeing pickup for like months out like we used to, but we're seeing it trickle into the 7-day window or the 10-day window. I think there's a little less resistance here. We could push this, or we can shave here. So I think right now is more so like a lot of testing that goes on and finding where the properties find the resistance. Every property is different. I mean, we have like our nicer, like independent boutique hotels who are able to maintain a higher resistance level than some of our, Four Points or the Fairfields, right? So there's different, I guess, consumer behaviors for each individual property, and knowing where that is going to tell us how we price or how we forecast the properties going forward too.
With the time remaining, Dury, any advice for the hoteliers as we continue through this?
I would say get everybody on team revenue, right? Like everybody's a revenue generator now. We're all sourcing, we're all salespeople. There's an incredible amount of information just on the property levels or in your front office team, your housekeeping team. They're the ones telling us, hey, these guests are telling us the white sheets look cleaner than cream sheets do. And that's where you make the operational change. Or, hey, they've noticed that we would much rather have points than, a discount, because they're thinking about forward travel. So really listen to your teams on property and just be open-minded. Everyone's going through this together, so no one's going to think that you have a dumb suggestion or a dumb question.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it was lovely to be here.
All right.